to lobby.
Ja, ik werd geen in.
Stealth, by definition, is a cautious and secretive way of moving to evade detection. But how does that actually translate into a first-person extraction shooter like DMZ? That's exactly what we're breaking down today. So buckle up, grab your throwing knives, and enjoy the show. Now, when most of you think of a stealth playstyle, you probably picture someone camping in a dark corner, crouch-walking with a one-shot weapon. But let me stop you right there. You're doing it wrong. To pull off true stealth, you need to take the enemy by surprise, and that brings us to our first pillar. You see the little square on the top left of your screen? That's your minimap. It's great for finding buildings, tracking active UAVs, turrets, and getting a general vibe of whether the area is clear. You should absolutely be looking at it once in a while. But here's the trap. Another part of knowing the map is, believe it or not, actually knowing the map. Your minimap isn't going to show you where the stairwells are. It doesn't pinpoint the zip lines, the window ledges, or the secret climbable spots. You have to commit those to memory. In DMZ, stealth isn't just about hiding, it's about pathfinding. If you only use the doors and stairs the game clearly marks for you, you're predictable. And in an extraction shooter, predictable is just another word for dead. Always pick the most unpredictable angle, and remember to keep moving. Or not. Now, you might be saying, hold up, isn't positioning just a fancy word for camping? And my response to that is, well, kinda. But not the way you think. Knowing when to retreat, or when to stop and wait for the enemy to walk into your crosshair, is absolutely crucial to your survival. But how do you know when to hit the brakes? Let's look at this clip on Ashika Island. I'm on top of apartments, and I just downed one player from a 3-man squad rushing the area. Notice how I don't immediately brain dead push the body. Instead, I hold a blind spot and wait. That is positioning. Now, with 2 out of 3 dead, the sniper tags me. Instead of ego challenging, I retreat inside to play top. I immediately rush back out because I know the third teammate is panicking and going for the revive. I force the final 1v1 and clear the squad. Do you see what actually happened there? I never fought more than one enemy at a time. True stealth positioning isn't about hiding forever, it's about using the map to split up the squad, turning a suicidal 1v3 into 3 separate, highly winnable 1v1s. And that is how you survive. Now that you know how to position yourself and approach an enemy, you also need to know how to actually take them down. This brings us to surprise attacks. What does surprise attack actually mean? It means neutralizing your opponent before they even understand who or where they're getting hit from. Depending on the situation, you have a few ways to pull this off. Let's start with the most common method, shooting. This applies to any primary or secondary weapon, excluding one-shot shotguns, of course. Yes, you will encounter people using those, but let's be honest. The players relying on one-shot shotguns are usually tunnel vision noobs, who somehow still miss even when you're standing perfectly still. Back to real weapons. When you shoot at someone, their absolute first reaction is to run for cover. Because of this, you need to calculate your angle and proximity before you pull the trigger. The absolute best case scenario is catching an enemy out in the open from a medium to close range. But since that rarely happens in real lobbies, we need to talk about other options, starting with lethals. One of your greatest allies in a stealth build is a throwing knife. It's a retrievable lethal that instantly downs any player who isn't wearing a free build vest. but you have to understand the spacing. Throwing knives have significantly less range than guns. After about 5 meters, gravity kicks in, and the knife starts to drop, meaning you'll need to arch your crosshair for longer distances. The best part, you auto-collect them just by running over the impact spot or the dead enemy's body, letting you stay on the move for restocking. And finally, we have the flashiest, most disrespectful way to secure a kill: finishing moves. As much as we all love doing them, they are incredibly high risk. To pull one off, you have to get directly behind an enemy and hold the melee button. The hard part is covering that distance without being heard or spotted. But the absolute charm of a finishing move is that it ignores health and armor. If you trigger it, they die. To make pulling this off a whole lot easier, you need the right field upgrades. When it comes to stealth, there's only one field upgrade that truly matters: Dead Silence. This temporary power-up lets you run, vault, and slide without making a single sound, allowing you to reposition at landing speed and catch people completely off guard. It's a one-time use item, so timing is everything, but a massive upside is that while it's active, the timer refreshes with every player kill you get. Of course, you can show up to the DMZ fashion show without the ultimate accessory, the stealth vest. This beauty keeps you completely invisible to UAVs, portable radars, and advanced UAVs. Pair a stealth vest with that silence, and you will literally make the enemy squad think they're having a schizophrenic episode right before they return to the lobby. Now, what if you aren't playing solo? Unless you are running as a lone wolf, remember this rule. A team is only as quiet as its loudest teammate, but don't let a loud squad ruin your playstyle. Instead, use their noise to your advantage. Let your teammates draw all the attention, and use the chaos they create to slip away, flank the enemy, and strike from the shadows while they are completely distracted. One incredibly powerful tool you have at your disposal once you secure a down is interrogation. After knocking an enemy, you can hold down the interact button to extract intel from them. This triggers a localized UAV sweep that places live pings on all of their remaining teammates. But you have to move fast and play it smart. The player being interrogated can instantly alert their squad, warning them that their positions are about to be blown. This usually forces the rest of the team to fall back and play defensively until the teammate dies and the ping goes away. It's a high risk, high reward gamble, but if you time it right, it gives you absolute wall hacks on the players. And that wraps up my definitive guide to mastering stealth in DMZ. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to check out some of my other videos on my channel. Until next time, stay stealthy.